Okay, I have returned. I'm still in Deuteronomy, chapter 6, and now I'm going to start at verse 1. As I just read verse 7, that was a big punchline right there. So let's lead up to that and see what happens. Now these are the commandments, the statutes, and the judgments which the Lord your God commanded to teach you, that ye might do them in the land whither ye go to possess it. Now these people were already taught the commandments, the statutes, and judgments. Now he's telling these people to teach it to their children and everybody else. You know what happened in the end? They turned their back. They turned their back on him. I'm telling you, don't turn your back on God. That thou mightest fear the Lord thy God. Now that's a godly fear. That's not being afraid. It's having the proper mentality towards God. That thou mightest fear the Lord thy God, to keep all his statutes and commandments. All of them, not just a couple. Which I command thee, thou and thy son, and thy son's son, all the days of thy life, and that thy days may be prolonged. That's one of the reasons why I think I'm still alive. I had a real bad heart problem a few years back that had been coming on for a long time. I hurt like crazy. I got the operation, where they did the bypass stuff, Now that I've drawn closer to God since then, I'm still going. A lot of people that have this operation and go these many years, let's see how many years it was. Let's see, 6, 7, 12 years. I'm in my 13th year since I had this operation. I'm still alive. Thank you, God. That thy days may be prolonged. You see? There's certain things you can do which will help you keep going. God is happy to keep me going because I'm doing what he wants me to do. Hear therefore, O Israel, and observe to do it, that it may be well with thee. But I told you they turned their back. They screwed up. And that ye may increase mightily, as the Lord God of thy fathers hath promised thee, in the land that floweth with milk and honey. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. There's only one. There it's written right there. And God's telling you. You hear about all the stuff that's out there? Oh, this is crazy. Oh, I figured out why I get this this dryness in my throat when I do this. I got a little desk here. This is where I do all my paperwork. I open up letter envelopes and stuff like that. And I use this thing here. See, it has an edge on it. And it makes all these little pieces of paper here. And I'm breathing it in all the time. I finally figured it out. So I'm going to take all this stuff out of here and clean it. I'm not doing it tonight. Let's see what time it is anyway. It's 7 minutes before midnight. The day of the shooting in South Florida. All right? I'm going to read that verse 4 again. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one, one Lord. Oh, this is going to be a tough one. I got to do all this one and another one. Oh, man. And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thine heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy might. And these words which I command thee this day shall be in thine heart. And here's verse 7 that I already read. And thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up. In other words, all the time teaching the children about God and his commandments and statutes and edicts, etc. Do you hear anybody out there doing that? You walk around a grocery store or a movie theater or anywhere. Do you hear anybody talking about God? No, you don't. Me and my wife walk along. We walk real close. And I put her arm in my arm here and I hold her close. And we talk softly to each other. And guess what? Sometimes we talk about God in the grocery store. Whoa. Almost unheard of, huh? Let me read another one here. And thou shalt bind them for a sign upon thy hand, and they shall be as frontlets between their eyes. You ought to see what the Jews did when they read that stuff. You know, how they do all this crap to themselves. It's laughable, actually. And thou shalt write them upon the post of thy house, and on thy gates. And it shall be, when the Lord thy God shall have brought thee into the land which he sware unto thy fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, to give thee great and goodly cities which thou buildest not, and houses full of all good things. Now I could go on and on and on here. I'm not going to do it because I'm picking out some verses tonight talking about God telling us to teach about him and his word. Let me go to another one here. Let's see, 6, 7. Let's see. The book of Samuel here. Let's see. Let's see where Samuel is. Oh, Samuel. Samuel. Raise your hand, Samuel. Chronicles, Kings. Kings. Samuel. 2 Samuel. Chapter 1. Look at this. I'm going to go to the first chapter in 2 Samuel here. Chapter 1 and verse 18. What does he say? Also, he bade them teach the children of Judah the use of the bow. Behold, it is written in the book of Jasher. Teaching the children how to use the bow. And what did they use the bow for? Protection was one thing. Hunting for food is another. And for sport. Target shooting. Here's a commandment from God to teach the children how to use the weapons of the times. Now, the demon craps don't want you to have a gun. If you got a gun, you can prevent yourself from being killed, possibly, by the evil ones, like the guy that's down there in Florida killing the kids in the school. They don't want you to have a gun. They want you to be killed by the evil because they are evil. And here's a verse right here coming from God telling you as the adult to teach the kids how to use the weapons properly now. You understand? Lawfully. The good laws. You want to do something? Call up the National Rifle Association of America, the NRA, and ask them for help, some guidance. Or go to a gun store and ask them. I'll tell you one where somebody can go in the Fort Worth and Dallas area. The crazy gun dealer in Alvarado, Texas. A lot of the people that work in there, if not all of them, are ex-military and ex-cops. They know all about guns, the proper use and storage of a gun. I bought some stuff there. Got to get me another water over here. There we are. Let me open it up. Well, I'm going to be peeing later. Let's go to the next one. Let's see. 1 Kings 8:36. Kings. That's right after Samuel. 1 Kings 8 and verse 36. I wonder what that one says. I wrote this stuff down a while ago, and look what it is, huh? 8:36. 1 King 8:36. Okay. Then hear thou in heaven, and forgive the sin of thy servants and of thy people Israel, that thou teach them the good way wherein they should walk, and give rain upon thy land, which thou hast given to thy people for an inheritance. Look at that. It says, there's another one. That thou teach them in the good way wherein they should walk. The right way of living. You see how many times that we've been talking about this just in a couple of segments here? And we're only just touching the book. There's thousands of good things in this book. The only bad stuff in this book is where he has recorded what he's going to do to all them evil people that are screwing up America and the rest of the world. Judgment is coming. I don't know when. I got no idea when. But it's coming. How do I know that? Written in this book. How do I know there's evil people? God says you will know them by their fruits. You ever see an apple tree putting out nice, delicious Macintosh apples? You know that tree by its fruits, man, and you like that fruit, right? Yeah, it's delicious. Well, there's other trees out there and bushes and vines and stuff that produce some evil stuff. You will know them by their fruits, what they produce. Now, the black communist Muslim became president of the United States, and his whole goal was the demise of the U.S. How do we know that? All you got to do is pay attention to what he did and what's still happening. It's residual. And Donald Trump has to straighten it all out. Let's read another one here. Let's see. 1 Samuel 12:23. Let me see what that is. 1 Samuel 12, verse 23. Let's see what this one is. Just picking these verses out. Boy, it's all good stuff, isn't it? Moreover, as for me, God forbid that I should sin against the Lord in ceasing to pray for you. But I will teach you the good and the right way. Only fear the Lord and serve him in truth with all your heart. For consider how great things he hath done for you. But if ye shall do wickedly, ye shall be consumed, both ye and your king. Now the first part of that, 1 Samuel chapter 12, verse 23. Here he is, Samuel. Moreover, as for me, God forbid that I should sin against the Lord in ceasing to pray for you. You hear, all right, this tragedy that happened in South Florida. You hear the people that are interviewed, and they're talking about praying for the dead, praying for the families of the dead, and praying for all that kind of stuff. Listen to this here. As for me, God forbid that I should sin against the Lord in ceasing to pray for you, in not praying for you. But I will teach you the good and the right way. Now, no matter who's doing the praying, not everybody is doing the teaching in the good and right way. Does that make sense to you? Just because you say you're praying, that don't mean you're doing the right thing. Huh? Even evil people pray. Look at the Muslims. They put out their prayer rug, like the black communist Muslim, face towards Mecca, and they pray to Allah. That ain't God. Let's get another one here. Deuteronomy 4:10. I wonder what that is. Deuteronomy 4, verse 10. Remember, we're entering right into the middle of the story. Especially the day that thou stoodest before the Lord thy God in Horeb, when the Lord said unto me, gather me the people together, and I will make them hear my words, that they may learn to fear me all the days that they shall live upon the earth, and that they may teach their children. There it is again. I can't do it anymore tonight. Have I answered the question? Why is this happening in America? Turned your back on God, passed laws that you cannot teach what God tells you to teach. You can't do it. It's the evil. There's so much evil in America. The godly people are the few. We are the minority. Prepare to defend yourself. It's coming. Get guns. Learn how to do it properly, lawfully, and stock up food and water. I'm going to knock this off. I feel a lot better now that I did this tonight. I gave you the reason why this stuff is happening in America. There's the commandments. People are not doing it. Good night.